Meteorologist Mike Griffith here for East Coast Weather Association. Just want to wish you a happy Saturday. This is your Saturday outlook for May 20th, 2017. We're looking at the GFS model here, and it looks like there's a lot of severe weather today across much of Texas and Oklahoma. This is kind of not so severe right now, and as the day goes on Saturday, that storm system sort of pushes east. And then it looks like there's going to be scattered showers and thunderstorms once again near the North Carolina-Virginia border. I don't think it quite makes it down into Charlotte and the rest of the Carolinas, including South Carolina. Florida, however, remaining unsettled with a bunch of onshore flow down there. So they could be getting some lingering showers and thunderstorms anywhere along the coast, all the way from Jacksonville down to Miami and Orlando. They're looking like they're not going to be too dry. This is going to be a cold front that's going to form in here. And this is just going to kind of stall out. It's going to move into this area here over the latter part of the weekend into late Saturday into Sunday. It's just going to kind of stall out and just bring showers and thunderstorms to much of this area in here. And we're going to see some rain totals, possibly around an inch or so in the Carolinas down into the Florida Panhandle, because this system is just going to kind of park itself and is not going to really go anywhere. Looking into Saturday evening, the cold front doesn't really do a whole lot of movement. It doesn't really move anywhere. It doesn't push anywhere. It just kind of sits there. And the flow coming up out of the Gulf is going to cause a lot of instability here and a lot of showers and thunderstorms across the Carolinas, including the beaches. Florida looking damp and dreary. And much of the southern part of the United States, the deep south, they're looking damp and dreary as well. And for Sunday, pretty much the same story. Some heavier rains in here and across Atlanta. They could be getting some flash flooding down there across the ATL. And the whole cold front does not really push that much east. And it's just going to be a wet and soggy day, waking up Sunday morning across much of the east. And this is going to fill in across the Carolinas as this front ever so slightly pushes east on Sunday and doesn't really go anywhere. Rain starts to build across the state of Florida, and I don't think Miami's going to be out of this rain picture here on Sunday into Sunday evening. And then we're looking at Monday. Cold front forms, and it's not looking quite as powerful as it was earlier in the model here. It's not looking like it's going to cause a lot of severe weather. There could be some storms somewhere ahead of the front, maybe down in the south and also maybe in the Tidewater, Virginia, as the front starts to push eastward slowly, finally, during the day on Monday. But since it's not going to be such a fast push, I'm not anticipating a whole lot of severe weather. And the front just kind of sits there off the coast and trails down into the south and stalls out. So anywhere down along the stalled front here in the southeast, we're looking at showers and thunderstorms continuing into Monday, and Monday's looking wet for most, especially across the southeast and probably up into the northeast as well. When Tuesday comes, we kind of might dry out momentarily, but don't really count on it because another wave of low pressure develops along the stalled out cold front here in the southeast, bringing more rain and even some flooding to southern Georgia and even into Atlanta. On the edge of the rain. This could be misplaced or it could be an accurate location, but it's just looking unsettled across the southeast as we are looking at Tuesday, late Tuesday right now around 8 o'clock p.m. Very unsettled across much of the eastern part of the United States. Rain, showers, and thunderstorms everywhere. Multiple waves of low pressure develop along that stalled out cold front, and it just sits there and just rides along the cold front. The disturbances just kind of ride along the cold front, exit out to sea, and just bring rain, heavy at times, and almost like it's a drizzle or some kind of mist here across the southeast states through the middle of next week. And it's just going to be chilly because it's going to be something called a Carolina wedge, which is where the cold air just gets wedged in across the Carolinas. Another wave of low pressure. Multiple waves of low pressure develop here in the southeast, bringing instability and showers and thunderstorms and heavier rains here in the area that we're seeing with the yellow and the orange. Low pressure area just sits there over eastern Tennessee and just kind of sits there and spins later next week around Thursday. And then that system tries to push off into the east and maybe around D.C. and Philly. by late Thursday night next week into Friday. And this is possibly a cold front that extends all the way down into South Florida and even Cuba. And this is going to be just a lot of moisture across the tropics down there. So they're going to be rainy and miserable down there. And it's just not going to be as bright, sunshiny weather in South Florida as what they're used to because of this low pressure wave that's just kind of sitting down there and hanging out and not really going anywhere. It looks like high pressure tries to build in eventually next weekend. For Saturday, for most of the East Coast, this would be some good news, but I would not count on it overall. But we might be able to catch a short break in between all the rain before more rain comes and develops. We would just have a real active southern branch of the jet stream feeding the moisture up to the East Coast. So this high pressure would be welcome if it does tend to stick through next weekend. It looks like it's pretty high. High valued, high pressure, 1020 millibars, 1021. So that would keep any types of rain away and out of the picture. Let's go ahead and take a look at the overall temperature trends here through late next week. We're going to take a look at the 500 millibar height anomalies. And this can give us a good idea, a decent idea of pressure patterns in the upper atmosphere and overall temperatures at the surface based upon the upper air high or low pressure patterns. This is the ridge across the East Coast that we're seeing through the weekend here. And this system kind of erodes away and pushes away from Saturday into Sunday. Here's the ridge on Sunday. Here's the bulge in the heights. So anywhere here in the red and along this bulge is just going to be warmer than usual temperatures all throughout the East Coast on Saturday. But then, as we go into Sunday, here comes a disturbance out here in the Plain States. This is actually what's been causing the severe weather on Friday and even into Saturday. But it looks like on Sunday, a lot of this warmer air, this is the upper ridge, but there's going to be a lot of cooler air sneaking underneath it on Sunday and keeping us rainy and cool. And then on Monday, late Monday into Tuesday, a big area of lower than usual pressure is going to take over the East Coast, and it's going to cause a lot of cooler than usual temperatures across the East here. We can see this in the blue, and this is just going to be the trend through the end of next week. Let's take it back to the 500 millibar height anomalies. And here we are, just cooler and damp and stormier than usual. That's what we saw with all those showers and thunderstorms and the rain in the southeast through late next week. We're looking at Wednesday right here through the 24th. It's just going to remain cooler and chillier than usual in the east, and not a lot of reprieve from the chillier than usual temperatures and the rain. Those of you who do not like the heat, you're going to be thankful at least through next weekend. But then once all the rain and all the yuckiness, as I call it, moves away, we're going to start to get warm again, and we're going to start to see a ridge again in the east, and we're going to start to warm up once again as we go into next weekend, into the 28th or so, the 27th, 28th, next Saturday into Sunday. And that's what we're looking at right now as far as the heat returning next weekend. But then as we start the month of June, we're looking very chilly for the beginning of June across the east here. Here's an upper level low, and here's the trough across the eastern part of the United States. Is going to keep us all cold or chillier than usual in here. And for the summer standards, that could be just upper 70s, low 80s as we start the month of June. And that system kind of sticks around overall. Here's another big low up here in Canada, and that just tells me that we're just going to have cooler flow from the northwest, even the west here, keeping us not too warm. We're not going to have any type of big ridge in the United States, in the eastern part of the United States to the beginning of June, which says no more extreme heat to start the month of June. This is your outlook for 5/20/2017 Saturday, but we went way beyond today. So keep it tuned right here to East Coast Weather Association. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Subscribe to our channel right here. You can see the suggestion of showing you where to pointing you to where to subscribe. Catch us online at ecwxa.com for the latest blog posts and other information. Thanks a lot for watching this segment of East Coast Weather Association, and I am meteorologist Mike Griffith.